Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the GW Tiger. It's the tier 9 German SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Overlord, and this one is under the command of Oxagon of ENJ0Y, and alongside him, well, not quite alongside him, is Soul Collector, and he's in the Kampfpanzer and he's also in ENJ0Y. Well, the very obvious thing is 3 marks of excellence on the barrel of this howitzer. It's a 21cm howitzer. How do I know that? There's no muzzle brake. If there was a muzzle brake, it would be the 17cm one. This is an Arty that they were building. They had the original one without the gun, still in its testing stage, its manufacturing stage. They hadn't put it all together. The gun was still laying on the ground nearby and wasn't ready for use. Of course, the Germans at that stage in the war were, well, pretty desperate, so they were actually considering putting into action anything that they could, including the mouse, actually. One of the mouse was put into action. Well, Oxagon fired a quick shot off. He didn't actually fire accurately enough, though, to get a hit, as far as we can tell. Now, the hull of this Arty actually comes from the Tiger II, the King Tiger, not the original Tiger, the Panzerkampfwagen 6 Ausrüstung A. They never made an Arty from that tank, and it's kind of curious that they didn't, to be honest. Okay, he's found a likely target. In fact, it's a GeForce have very little armor. He fires a round in. Well, it looks to me like the GeForce had actually moved away by the time that that shell arrived, because it exploded on the ground. If the GeForce had been there, I think it probably would have been very badly damaged. If we do see him again, we'll have a quick look to see how much in the way of hit points he has. But at the moment, he's gone unspotted. Standard reload for this Arty, 14.27 seconds. Rounds out. It hits the side of the T110E5, well, side. It actually landed alongside him. It didn't actually hit the side. Okay, there's the GeForce, and he has lost a lot of hit points. So he may have actually splashed him from the position he was in, but he could have been hit by other players. And he's almost out of the game anyway. It's a very bad position to go to, that one. Very obvious, and he has now ended up in the garage. Rounds out the 50 ton, 50 TP rather. It doesn't look like the enemy is doing well. They've actually are 3 tanks down. They're kind of being compressed onto their side. Our guys are starting to move across the bowl in the center of the map. Oh, it was Soul Collector who's doing that actually as well. So I think they're probably going to try and get at him. It looks like the 50 tons moving there, and he takes a round right up his rear, so he won't be happy about that. And Soul Collector is giving us some stun assist, so 980 stun assist off that one. That's not bad. Very nice, thank you, Soul Collector. Okay, we're herding these ones now. I think it's herding or kettling, and they're now being completely wiped out, and this game is going to be over very, very soon. There's only 3 enemies left, 2 of them mediums and 1 Arty. The Arty is another GW Tiger. Rounds out the GeForce for a long shot. Oh, very, very good. And Soul Collector got a shot into him, and he's out the game as well, which now means that there's only 1 enemy medium left. And this is a tier 10 game. It's a Leopard. The enemy Arty got wiped out. Type 61 got him, but we don't know where this Leopard is. It's not, since it's a tier 10, that it would be a Leopard. Oh, we can see some movement. He's coming close. He's very close. He just knocked down some walls in our direction. He's just about to appear. Yes, there he is. Okay, come closer, darling. He took a round. Unfortunately, I think Oxagon's now got a very long reload, so the best thing for him to do is ram. And he gets a big ram, lots of hit points off the ram. Well, 301, that's good. He knew he wasn't going to get any more, and the game is over, but it was a good kill at the end. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Oxagon in the GW Tiger. It was a very quick game as well. He also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 10. And on top of that, he got a Confederate medal as well because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. In fact, he didn't get a single kill in the game, but that actually did help him to get that medal. And of course got that lovely bit of damage off the enemy Leopard by ramming him at the end. That's what you should do. Don't suicide. Ram the enemy if you have to. If you fired your last round, you can't reload in time. Might as well just go in for the ram and take the extra hit points. And he did, and it was the Progetto 65 on his team who actually got the kill on that Leopard. Now, what you might find surprising is if we actually now look at the scores, we can see that the highest score in the game was our T95 FE4201, 3,463. Second highest damage went to the Progetto, who got that last kill. Yes, the Progetto mod 65 rather, the M40 mod 65, the tier 10 version. And he got 2,290. The third highest damage in the game actually went to the Char Future 4 on our team with 2,266. We can see that Soul Collector got 2,030 and Oxagon got 2,021, so they were very close in total. But the highest scorer on the enemy team turned out to be that Leopard, the one that he killed right at the end, or rather he didn't kill, but he got a nice bit of damage off him. 2,239, so all of these players were around about the same score in terms of hit points. When it came to kills though, it was that Progetto who did the best. Yeah, the one that got the kill on the Leopard, he got 3 kills in that game, so that last kill actually allowed him to get the top of the table. 2 kills went to the AMX M454, also the Chieftain, the T95 FE4201, the Type 61, and only one player on the enemy team actually managed to get 2 kills, and that was their Progetto 65 instead. Okay, let's go back here. And when we go to base XP, it was Oxagon. Yes, he scored the highest. He got over 1,000, 1,067, mostly because he was hitting targets which were stunning them, and Soul Collector and the other teammates were just jumping all over them the moment they were stunned, and he was picking up masses of stun assists. And quite apart from the fact that he obviously got some actual damage as well. So he got 1,067 base, 889 went to Soul Collector, so he was the second highest base in the game, and 860 went to the T95 FE4201. Now I suspect that Soul Collector actually did well because he was spotting as well, and yes he was, look at that, 1,887 spotting assist on top of the actual damage that he did. And that's bumped up his base XP quite considerably because, of course, the Kampfpanzer Funkzig is actually a tier 9 and he was hitting tier 10 opponents, so that's why he was doing so well. So good for him. And okay, let's have a look at the detailed 7 shots fired, only 7. The battle only lasted 4 minutes 20 seconds, or 4 minutes 18 actually, and he got 3 direct hits on the enemy and no penetrations, but he did get 11 splash. So he was hitting some tanks, multiple tanks at the same time. 2,021 hit points of damage, of which 1,252 were more than 300 meters. So you can see there was some very close range shots actually, and that was one of those was of course the Leopard. He did receive 1 hit, it was a penetration, that was from the Leopard, yes, so he did suffer some damage. But he went in for the ram and got a nice healthy chunk back. 1 enemy vehicle spotted. Not sure who he spotted actually in that one, but probably somebody who went across the bowl. 8 enemy vehicles were damaged, none were killed. 3,577 hit points of stun assist off 11 stuns, and that's how he got the highest base in the game for getting such a huge amount of stun tanks. It did help that he had Soul Collector out there, effectively nailing the enemy tanks that he'd stunned, but it really did also help that he was selecting the right targets to hit. 39,156 credits for the battle, 17,620 from battle payments, a total of 82,227 credits altogether. And after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, he took away a profit of 32,831 credits, 1,067 XP, 240 for playing the platoon, and 1,841 experience points altogether. Let's have a quick look at the armor profile for this beast. As you know, it is a heavy tank, so obviously it's got heavy tank armor on the actual hull because basically they've taken something off the production line. You're looking at the rear of a real Tiger II, because obviously they put the engine up front, so it's basically the thing is reversed. What you've got here is a front plate with 30mm, angled goes out 42, lower plate 30mm coming out at about 70. The sides of the vehicle only 16mm, so fairly thin. The top deck is, or the engine deck is 16mm, and the front shield there is actually thicker than it should be, really, in theory, because you've got the side shield there is only 16mm, but the front shield is 30mm of armor. And if we go to the rear, well, you can see this plate here, which apparently Steve Walsh has proved that you can actually fire through that plate, or stick your gun barrel through it and fire through that plate. And I think it produces, it does actually allow you to, it allows you to do something. I can't remember what it is, but somebody will remind me exactly what it was. But he did prove that the GW Tiger plate, actually you can stick your gun through and shoot and actually get hit points, I think, of it, because even though it's showing as blue, only 10mm with 16mm, I think, of spaced armor. Yes, I think you can actually get an effect or a specific effect of it. Anyway, that's the armor profile. Let's have a quick look at the... oh, that is the wrong tank. That's a 212A. That's the next tank in the videos. Let's look at the GW Tiger. That's better. Okay, you can see the driver's up front, the driver's mate's alongside him. We've got the transmission directly in front of them with the engine directly behind with two fuel tanks either side. The tank commander is actually ahead of the gunner, but obviously because it's an Arty, the gunner is actually more concerned with the controls on the howitzer and adjusting those, so the commander can be up front. In fact, he is up front in the M53, M55. We've got two loaders, one either side of the breech, and two ammo racks, very small ammo racks actually showing here, actually towards the back of the breech again. If you shoot up the center, you're not going to get the breech, you're probably going to hit the engine. If you shoot to try and get the ammo rack, well, it's difficult to get this one. You have to aim for a line of the rear of the tracks. So if you're looking at the vehicle, you aim just above the rear of the tracks and you should be able to get it. That's the reference point to try and hit the ammo rack and blow the thing up. But any shell aimed towards the rear here, because the armor is so thin, is more than likely going to go through. And there's a very good chance you're going to hit one of the crew members because they're all up in the line. So yeah, you're probably going to do a module hit if you do that. So thanks very much to Oxagon for sending in the replay. He's actually sent us in quite a few. In fact, the next replay is, or next video rather, is another one of Oxagon's. So do stick around and you'll be seeing another 3-ring Arty firing on the battlefield. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, gets it noticed, and thank you for watching.